I don't know if this concept is going to translate well into a tier list, but I felt like ranking some movies today. I debated back and forth whether or not to do this tier list, first of all, at all. But then, what do I rank? Do I rank the movies themselves or the plot twists? Because obviously if we rank plot twists, there's going to be spoilers. It seems like y'all don't mind the spoilers. You know, I got a lot of feedback and everyone said to do spoilers, so we're doing spoilers. Now, of course, I have designed this video specifically, so if you don't want to be spoiled, you can avoid it while still watching the video. So I made a list down below, the timestamps are all linked down below, of all of the movies I'm going to cover, so you can look at the list in advance, see if you've seen them all. If you haven't, the chapters are outlined. You can skip through the chapters. This is not going to be a video that you can just pop on and listen in the background while you do something, because you probably are going to want to skip around in this video to avoid the spoilers. Now, knowing a movie in general has a plot twist might be a spoiler in and of itself, so that's up to your discretion if you watch this video at all or even look at the movies in the list. That is completely up to you. I am leaving this fully in your control of how much you would like to be spoiled. So of course, by all means, skip around in the chapters and avoid the spoilers of the movies that you are still wanting to watch. And if you are trying to stream them where you live and you're not finding them in your country, then I highly recommend checking out NordVPN. Now, even though I have every single streaming service known to man, I still use a VPN all the time to access even more horror content, because not all streaming services around the world have the same content on them. So NordVPN allows you to find movies and media that are streaming in other countries that maybe aren't streaming where you live. It's by far the easiest VPN to use. All you have to do is click on the country you would like to connect to, refresh your streaming service, and now you have access to all of their media. Also, you know how you get those really weird, like creepy targeted ads, like someone is listening to you? NordVPN actually keeps you completely anonymous while you're using the internet. So there's no weird tracking of your sites or your location. NordVPN also keeps you super safe while online by blocking malware and malicious ads, as well as protects your data and privacy from hacking using their threat protection, which automatically runs in the background even if you're not connected to a VPN server. Now, NordVPN can be used on up to 6 devices with just one account, so all of your technology is protected. So make sure you go to nordvpn.com/possessedbyhorror to get an exclusive deal plus 4 months for free on a 2-year plan. It's completely risk-free with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. Okay, here we are in the tiers. Let's make some tiers. First up, we have obviously the top tier. I'm gonna reference M. Night Shyamalan, obviously the king of plot twists, but this tier is going to pay homage to M. Night. So we're just gonna put okay, M. Night. Now, not all M. Night Shyamalan movies are going to fall in this category because I don't think all of his plot twists should be created equal, but this is top tier. These are the ones that clearly blew my mind. They don't necessarily have to be M. Night Shyamalan. Next up, I feel like this tier list is gonna bother some people. Baby M. Night. Mild M. Night Shyamalan vibes. Maybe you tried a little bit. Maybe you were inspired by M. Night Shyamalan. But it was just okay. Just an okay plot twist. I didn't necessarily see it coming, but it wasn't like a standout, you know? Once it did, the reveal did happen, it was just okay. Speaking of seeing it coming, we have, I saw it coming. We have a little smiley face, meaning I saw it coming, but it didn't necessarily ruin the movie for me. Because sometimes you call a plot twist and it can be like, all right, that just takes away everything, all the suspense out of the movie. This wasn't necessarily the case. But then this one, I saw it coming with a sad face, so it did ruin the experience for me. And then finally, bottom tier, oops, I just deleted the whole thing. Bottom tier, we have I'm tired. This is not a very creative, these aren't like creative tiers that I normally come up with, but it is what it is. I'm tired represents a lot of my life these days, so it's a very fitting category and represents my laziness of coming up with these tiers. But also, I'm just tired of these plot twists. They're either very cliche or just, you know, done a lot, or I'm just like bored with it. Like it happened and I was like, okay, let's get started. So the first movie, we're starting with the OG plot twist that probably, not invented plot twist, obviously, because this came out in the 90s, but probably the most famous plot twist of all time. We have The Sixth Sense. I thought I would start with the safe one only because if you're still debating whether or not to continue with this video and you've just let the video play in the background, everyone knows the plot twist of The Sixth Sense, so you know, you're still within the safety zone. Now, I personally hate how much this plot twist was memed while I was growing up. I saw it without knowing the plot twist first, so for me, this plot twist was mind-blowing. This is one of the first like thriller horror movies that I had ever seen. Obviously, we know the plot twist by now. Bruce Willis's character, the child therapist, was actually dead the whole time, and Haley Joel Osment's character sees dead people, right? Everyone talks so much about this plot twist that I think it took away so much for people who had never seen it before from their first viewing. So hopefully that didn't happen to you and you were able to enjoy this movie, whether you knew the plot twist or not. Also, I just want to say that my heart goes out to Bruce Willis and his family right now in dealing with his diagnosis and everything. It very much made me sad because The Sixth Sense is one of my favorite movies and The Fifth Element is one of my favorite movies. So I just want to thank Bruce Willis for, you know, being in some of my favorite movies of all time. Anyway, this is the OG M. Night Shyamalan plot twist. So it is going to go in top tier because when I saw this movie, it blew my mind. Someone said it pains them very much for me to adjust these as I go, and I'm sorry. I don't know another free like tier list template that I can use. If you know of any, please let me know. I would love to switch up the routine. Up next, we have 10 Cloverfield Lane. Now this one has a couple of things going for it, right? So the final plot twist, first of all, the plot of not knowing. We don't know. Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character doesn't know whether or not to trust John Goodman's character because he rescued her from a car accident. And us as the viewer, we are also still trying to figure out if we can trust him or not. And so part of it I saw coming because I didn't trust him. I'm like, something is weird with it. And then the final reveal with it being a Cloverfield movie, obviously that wasn't a surprise because it is a Cloverfield movie. It fits in the universe. I didn't know how, but by the end, you can kind of, you get it. Now, I actually think this would have been better not as a Cloverfield movie. Not that we're reviewing movies here. I love this movie, but the ending was the worst part of it for me, and the way it connected to the Cloverfield universe was the worst part of it. So I do wish they just made it a standalone thriller movie, like a captive situation. Now, the plot twist, he caused the car accident and put her in his bunker, and he's actually a killer and a creepy guy. He's just a creepy guy. This one I'm gonna say is Baby M. Night. I feel like it is almost there. It's pretty good. The Cloverfield reveal in the end that, you know, it is the apocalypse, but not in the way that you think it is. That wasn't surprising because it's called Cloverfield. There's Cloverfield in the title. But the plot twist of him being a creepy murderer guy, that was pretty good. Not bad. I was suspicious the whole time because I've seen many movies, so I kind of can, you know, learn to predict certain things. But it was good. It was a decent plot twist. Next up, we have Fractured. This is a movie that I recently talked about, I think in my 10 movie recommendations for your next movie night. This is a great plot twist movie, and although by the time the plot twist happened, I was like, why? I knew that was gonna happen. Like, I knew that was what was going to happen. This one is a really good plot twist. I was a huge fan of it, although now being a mother, a little bit difficult. Let's put it at okay M. Night. I think it's a great plot twist. The man goes to a hospital and his wife and daughter his daughter falls and breaks her arm. She falls into a pit, breaks her arm, goes to the hospital. Her and his wife disappear, and he goes throughout the hospital asking everyone, please help me find my family, and no one knows what he's talking about. And it turns out his daughter actually passed away in the pit when she fell. Next we have Identity. This one's tricky. I love this movie in general. However, the plot twist, not a fan. I don't know. You know why. You know why. If you have been around for a while, you know I don't love the mental illness take on a plot twist or a reason for the horrors that we had seen. So John Cusack plays a driver, and he shows up and there's a killer. He shows up to like this motel where a bunch of people are, 10 strangers, and people are being picked off. It turns out that all those people were him all along. He just has DID, I guess, and has multiple personalities, and those are all his personalities. Which this movie poster is actually pretty cool when you know that fact. So that plot twist, I'm gonna put in I'm tired. It's fine, but when I saw it, I was like a little bit disappointed because I don't love the mental illness aspect. I don't love the DID exploitation, the inaccuracies, the making them be super violent. Not really a fan, but the movie's good. You should still watch the movie if you want like a rainy day vibe. Next up, we have the OG Saw movie. This twist, I don't think people think of Saw when they think of plot twist necessarily, like the franchise. I think people do think of this one because the plot twist was incredible when it came out, was so unexpected. So obviously we have the two men in the room with the dead dude in the middle of the room. This whole elaborate game is set up, and then we find out that the dead dude in the middle of the room is John Kramer, and he was alive the whole time. I think I'm gonna put that in OK M. Night. That was just such a classic plot twist from a horror movie. Next up is Time Crimes. This is a great Spanish movie. If you have not seen this and you like movies like Coherence or Triangle, very like time bending, but the reveal of this in the end, kind of similar. Actually, it's so similar to Triangle, like very similar. We find out that the guy who is watching the man all along was actually himself, and he is in like this loop, this time loop. This is also going in OK M. Night. Ironically, I don't have Triangle in this video. I should, because it's one of my favorite movies, but that's a good plot twist as well. Next up, we have one of the most controversial plot twists of all time, The Village. I'm thinking about doing a video on movies that made audiences angry, because this is one of those that I feel like people were so disappointed in, because you are going in expecting a period piece, and then obviously you find out that they are in modern day. Now, this is going to be the first in this specific category of I saw it coming, but it didn't ruin it for me. It actually made the movie for me. So I did predict while I was watching it that they were actually in modern day, or something, you know, weird was going on, that they weren't actually, because like the way that they wanted to avoid the forest constantly, and something was a little sketchy. It felt very culty, but it didn't ruin the movie experience by any means. I actually really still enjoyed the reveal and finding out the truth. Cabin in the Woods, one of my favorite twists ever. I wish I could go back and relive this theater experience that I had watching Cabin in the Woods, because so iconic. This is just one of those movies that I would pay money to experience for the first time again, because the reveal was so cool. I was so obsessed with this movie when it came out. Obviously OK M. Night, because it's just one of my favorite reveals of all time. I think some people don't like it. I don't know how or why you wouldn't. I remember watching like the first 20 minutes or however long it takes to really get going, and I'm like, what is this? Why was this even made? I was so angry. Same thing happened to me while watching Smile. I just realized that, made that connection, that the same reaction in the theater. I'm like, why was this made? This is like every other cliche horror movie. And then it's not. And then they get down into that elevator and it reveals that it is an I don't even know how to describe the plot twist on this one because it's so complicated. But they have to make a sacrifice to the ancient gods to not destroy the world. So it's not what you expect. But I love the reveal of going into the elevator and then seeing the other creature, I don't even know, creatures, horrific beings, and ways that they are sacrificed. And then when they're all released, that's like one of my favorite scenes in cinema history. Next up, we have the most weird plot twist probably ever, because this plot twist shook people to their core when it happened. When she was hitting on that man and we're watching a child try to get with, oh, but then you find out that she's not actually a child and she's like 30 years old. Who would have thought? I actually didn't hate Orphan 2. The first time I saw this one though, I was like, what is going on? And although I liked it and it did blow my mind, I'm gonna put it in Baby M. Night. Like, it was definitely a shock, but it's just not one of my favorite, personally, plot twists of all time. You know what I mean? And I'm not ranking these based on shock factor or like how surprised I was. I'm ranking them on how much I like them. And that one's just okay. Next up, we have Scream, a classic plot twist movie. Obviously, every single Scream movie contains a plot twist, but we're not going through the whole franchise. I feel like this is the OG, and this is what made people fall in love with the franchise and, you know, try to guess now after this movie who the killer is, right? And they created a formula. But it's not my favorite. Not my favorite franchise, not my favorite plot twist. It's going in, did I see it coming? I did. I saw Billy Loomis's character coming. I didn't know Stu Macher was the other guy, because, you know, I didn't know it was two killers at first. Next, we have The Visit. You know exactly where this is going to go. I talked so much crap about The Visit on my channel constantly. It's my least favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie for many, many reasons. But this one, with the plot twist being that these children go to visit their grandparents for the first time. They are meeting them for the first time. The mom doesn't bother going to make sure everything's cool. No, she just sends her kids on off to these people's houses she thinks are her parents. Until the end, when the kids show them and she's like, those aren't your grandparents. Those are strangers. And they're actually elderly people who escaped from the hospital and they are senile. And that's why they want to kill these kids? Why do they want to kill I don't know. Was it shocking? Yes. Do we need the mental illness of old people? No, we didn't need that. Next up, Secret Window. This movie, I've never talked about this movie on this channel because I just recently watched this a couple months ago. One of the worst movies I think I've ever seen. I'm sorry. I think some of you have asked me to watch this. Everything about this movie I hate. I hated everything about it. This is one of those Stephen King adaptations where you can just feel Stephen King's story all over it instead of it feeling like a movie. It felt like the book, or the story rather, and not in a good way. That makes no sense as far as criticism goes because some people want that from an adaptation. This is probably Johnny Depp's worst acting I have ever seen. Why was his line delivery so bad in this? Was something going on in his life around this time that he just like could not focus on acting? Because this movie was horrible. Horrible. And I hated the twist. Again, mental illness. Why do we... I'm tired. I'm so tired of it. Every single mental illness thing is going in there. Also, I saw it coming. So it should go in the one above it because it did obviously ruin the experience because I knew immediately, I'm like, that guy is that guy. The guy in the hat, yeah, that's also Johnny Depp's character. They're the same person. But just because it's predictable, no, I'm tired of it. I'm so done with like mental illness. I just realized that there's a good handful of these that have that trope in it. Goodnight Mommy. So they did just do a remake of this and I never really liked this because of the plot twist. I don't like it. So a set of twins, one of the twins actually died, but you wouldn't know that until the very end when they reveal it. However, to me, super predictable. And the other twin is struggling and still sees his brother and still talks to him and is influenced by him. Now it should go in the mental illness, like I'm tired category, but I'm gonna put it in I saw it coming and it ruined the experience for me. It was just so predictable, especially because it has been done before. And obviously I don't love that, you know, he's struggling with it and they use that as like a means for horror or thriller. Similarly to this next one, which is pretty much the same exact plot, and also I'm including A Tale of Two Sisters, the original version of The Uninvited. The Uninvited is the American remake. I'm just using this to encapsulate both plot twists because they're the same set of sisters. One died, but again, we don't know that till the end and it's revealed that, you know, she died and the other sister doesn't realize or is still talking to her as if nothing happened. And these movies make it so obvious. Is it just me that no one else is interacting with the person who died? So it makes it so obvious what's happening. I'm gonna put it in I Saw It Coming. I like The Uninvited, don't get me wrong, but it's just one of those plot twists that's like, it does take away from the movie for me to know and to figure out on my own. Like then the reveal means nothing. And then it just seems, does anyone else feel this way when there's like a plot twist and there's a reveal that you already know is what's going to happen? And then it seems so dramatic. Just that feeling of it being like ultra dramatic, but it's not dramatic for you at all. Next up, we have Shutter Island. Same situation as a lot of these. So Leonardo DiCaprio, detective, goes to an island. Turns out he's actually a patient at this island of mentally ill people, and everyone's just playing into his role of pretending to be a detective to figure out what's going on. And he actually is a patient there because of his wife and his children. Tragic story. Again, I like this movie. Do we need the mental illness? I mean, the whole thing revolves around him being mentally ill. So it's going in I'm tired. I don't believe I saw this twist coming. I can't remember for sure because I saw it so long ago. But yeah, I'm tired. I'm over it. It definitely was not a twist for me. Friday the 13th. Now, again, this is one that I think everyone knows about by now, like who the killer actually is and that it's not actually Jason. I think we know that by now. And I actually really liked this plot twist a lot when I first saw this. Now, I did kind of know that it wasn't really Jason, but I think people still assume that like, oh, Jason Voorhees is killing people, and it's not, it's his mom. It's his mom. This is a pretty good plot twist. I'm gonna put it in Baby M. Night though. I definitely didn't see it coming, that's for sure. But I think it is one of those famous ones that everyone talks about and a lot of people know about already. Next we have Us. So Jordan Peele is great at doing a plot twist, and Us really blew my mind. Like, you see the reveal when you go underground, right? And you see everyone has a double, everyone has like a twin underground. That's one reveal, first of all. That's like a big explanation. It was nuts. But then you find out that the main character was actually swapped when she was younger, when she was a child, and her double was living up on Earth the entire time. Great twist. I really did not see that coming at all. That's definitely going in okay M. Night. Next we have You're Next. This is a great plot twist as well. It kind of reminiscent of Ready or Not. So she goes to her partner's family's house, and then a home invasion starts occurring, and then she finds out that her partner and his siblings are all in on it to get their family's estate. This one we're gonna put in I saw it coming, but it didn't ruin it. I did have a suspicion that someone in the family was doing it, just given the context of everything that was happening. I didn't necessarily know it was her boyfriend, but I did kind of have my suspicion. So the reveal wasn't very, you know, strong for me. Next, Sleepaway Camp. What kind of plot twist is this? This is a movie you could only do one time, although they made a bunch of them. But this is like one of those twists that you could do in the 80s. And that's it. I don't like this movie. I'm gonna be very frank. I've watched it twice. I've done a video on it, revisiting this movie, giving it another chance, which that series is gonna be reinstated, by the way, and the next time I'm gonna do it is revisiting the Hostel franchise, because I just said I don't like Hostel. So we have a little girl who's sent away with her cousin to a camp, right? And granted, there's a lot of iconic scenes in this. The bully, you know, there's a lot of greatness in this. It's not for me. I don't like the campiness. I don't like it. And it turns out that the little girl is actually a little boy. And it's revealed to us with nudity. This was just such a weird, a weird twist. I don't even know where to put this, to be honest, because it blew my mind. But my thought is like, why? Why are we doing this? Why was this the reveal? I literally don't know where to put this. Baby M. Night, sure. I'm gonna throw it up there because I don't know what else to do with that. I'm not tired of it because it's been done the one time, but it just makes me feel weird. I don't know. Next is a very underrated movie of his house. I've talked about this a bunch of times on my channel already. Go watch this if you have not, although I think they're taking it off of Netflix in the UK, so now would be a really good time to get a VPN if you're in the UK, so you can access American Netflix, watch this still. I think that's what is happening. This twist blew my mind. So we have this couple who, they're refugees from Sudan, and they are being haunted in their new space, right? And then soon it's revealed the reason why they're being haunted is actually like their consciousness, because they stole a child from someone in order to become refugees, because they were only taking those with children. And so they took a child so they could be saved. Wild plot twist. I loved it. It really made the movie for me. It was so tragic. I thought it was really just gonna be like a traditional supernatural movie. Absolutely not. Definitely okay M. Night. The Boy. Some of these plot twists are hilarious to me and make me laugh. This one makes me laugh. This movie makes me chuckle because, again, what is that? What was that plot twist? Why was that the direction? We have a man living in the walls pretending to be a doll. Okay. I don't like this movie either. I'm gonna be real with you. Not a fan of The Boy. I think people have asked me to review it or talk about it. I think I might have in the 10 years I've been doing this. Actually, I've been doing this a lot longer than that, maybe like 12 years. But I just don't see the point. I don't like this movie. So, again, did I see it coming? No. No, I could never have predicted that a man was in the walls, so we're gonna put it in Baby M. Night, I guess. That's where I'm putting movies I don't like the twist to. It's bottom tier. Why am I putting it there? We're gonna put it down here. You know what? Sleepaway Camp, go down there. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of you. I'm tired of these movies. Next up, we have The Mist. Now, I don't really see the ending of this movie being like a plot twist in the traditional sense. It's just a tragic ending. And I always, when I rewatch this, and I like this movie a lot, I turn it off before the ending because I can handle that 1 to 2 times, you know? You don't need to subject yourself to the ending of The Mist every single time you watch it, right? Obviously, we have this man, his son, and 2 other people with them, and they are, you know, driving along until they run out of gas, but they're still stuck in this situation with these weird creatures from another dimension. They have a gun, but they only have so many bullets, and there's not enough for the main character man. So what does he do? He shoots everyone in the car, and then he doesn't have any for himself. He gets out of the car wailing, right, because of his son. It's tragic. And then the military comes riding by with the rescues. So if he just waited a couple more minutes, he could have been rescued. Brutal. This one's rough, I'm not gonna lie. Again, not a traditional plot twist where it's like you can predict that that's what's going to happen. It's not like, you know, it doesn't affect anything that's happened throughout the movie thus far. Put it in Baby M. Night because it's like, it's a little painful for me to say that it's like top tier. Because it's tragic. The Blackcoat's Daughter, beautiful movie, very stunning, and highly recommend it. But we do find out that the 2 storylines that we're following, they are actually the same person, just different timelines of their life, which is weird because they look nothing alike. So definitely not predictable at all. Definitely could not see this one coming. Baby M. Night, it was fine. It wasn't like a huge reveal to me. It wasn't compared to like the other movies in the top tier. It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but it didn't like take away from the movie. It was good. Next we have Jordan Peele's other movie, Get Out. The twist being that the main character's girlfriend and her family harvest black people. Very weird, very disturbing. And you know that the family's weird, but what's great about this reveal is you don't know that the girlfriend is actually in on it because she's a great actor and you think that she's kind of innocent until she's not. To say I love this twist would be weird. Because it is dark. It's a very dark storyline. But the reveal with the girlfriend and everything, I'm a big fan of. And the way it was executed, yes, definitely top tier. Okay, this is the last movie that I'm going to be talking about in this video. Last plot twist we're ranking, The Others. Now this one, of course, is famously known, I think, not on the same level as Sixth Sense, but it is a similar movie to Sixth Sense. The characters that we have known the entire time, of course, the mother and her children, dead. Just like in Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis's character. This one, fantastic plot twist and really threw me for a loop. So that one's going in top tier as well. I loved that one too, specifically because you think you know who the ghosts are and then the ghosts turn out to be the alive people and the family trying to move into this house, and they're obviously, you know, getting activity from the main characters that we've been following the whole time who are actually dead and they're the ghosts. The fake out was incredible. Okay, so there you have my ranking of all of these plot twist movies. There's only 25 here. This is not all of them, obviously known to man. But please leave a comment down below. Tell me your favorite plot twist of all time. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will talk to you soon. Bye.